All right, welcome to Virtual Bourbon. My name is Steve Akley, and we have a fun event tonight. This is the first of a two-parter, so we'll be getting back together next month. But tonight it is kicking off our blending contest that we started last year. So now that we're doing it 2 years, it's the second annual, which I'm pretty excited about that. And we're going to kind of go over the rules of the contest, which that's important. Make sure everybody follows the rules. Nothing too intense or anything like that, but just want to do some things to make sure that everyone's on the same page and no one has an advantage or anything like that. So it's all designed to make sure no one has an advantage. And we'll have our distillers sharing some kind of best practices to help you create the best blend possible. We'll even get Adam to share that, even though he's participating. He is our celebrity expert this year. But he said
whatever you think is worst and blend those together.
He wants to win because he had that thing. Is like, what do I have to gain by this? If I get first place, everyone says, yeah, of course you're a professional. If he gets anything less than first place, people are making fun of him. So I appreciate him being part of this and doing that. I think that's pretty darn cool. But before we kind of get into that, you'll have Q&A too. You'll have opportunity to ask questions. So it won't be too long. We're not blending anything. We're not practicing or anything like that. That's all done on your own. So literally, we don't have any involvement in the blending itself. You blend it, you get it to us, and then we will judge it. And I'll get over, exactly how all that works when we get to kind of going over the rules. First, I want to make sure that everyone knows our two distillers. So we'll start out with Mr. Adam Stumpf, who's participating in this event. Adam, how you doing, man?
I am good. I am combining this year's crop of white corn for bourbon and vodka and all that fun stuff. So I couldn't be happier.
And how close are you to getting that still going? Because I think that's what everybody who knows your company knows, that you're putting in the process of putting in a antique still. Should be amazing. But where are you at in this thing?
Well, I've stopped giving any kind of indication of time. I've just started saying that we're closer than we've ever been. It's been that kind of project. No, we are getting pretty close though. We're to the point where all the major stuff is done, and we've got just like the extra little items on the punch list that we're taking care of right now. So I feel like I say it'd be just a couple weeks every week, but that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay. So yes, that's a cool thing. You actually were kind of turning it on a little bit. It's all becoming functional. So now you got to go through some testing and stuff like that. So to me, I was just over there. Again, I don't want to put a timeline on it. I don't want to, but I can say that it looks like he's getting pretty darn close. So that's cool. Very cool. Adam, we'll come back to you when we get into some blending tips and things like that, things that you can help them out with. But now we want to meet Mr. Royce Neeley, our other distiller who's involved in this. Hey, Royce, how you doing, man?
What's up, Akley? Hey, my internet's been a little crazy here. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you okay right now. Right now, you're
Cool.
good.
Okay,
So
good.
if you freeze up, we're okay. We'll just we'll know that, and we'll cover what we need to cover without you there. And when you come back, we'll be good to go. So you were involved in this last year. You had Adam's role last year. You were a participant, and Adam provided the whiskey last year, and you were the participant. This year we flip-flopped roles, and you provided the whiskey, and you were going to be the judge with me. We'll be the ones that are ultimately judging this stuff, right?
Absolutely. Yep. I got my ass kicked last year, so hopefully Stumpf does better than I did.
Well, I think it's a matter of taking it seriously. So you and I was there when you did your blend. You were there. You and Hunter Coffee did it together, and it was kind of a last minute thing. So that's why when we get to the timeline, respect the timeline, and don't wait till the very last minute, as Royce can attest. So yeah, you don't want to get eliminated early. So you want to win this thing. I think more than anything is the bragging rights. I wish I want to have that title of the ultimate whiskey blender. So one day, maybe one day I'll get to participate, and you two can be the host. And I don't know what I do for whiskey, but yes, we'll figure that out. We'll get to that. I'll source something or something like that. We'll make it happen. But Royce, your family it lives in Sparta, Kentucky, and that's where you have the Neeley family distillery, correct?
That's correct.
And you make whiskey and all kinds of stuff, right? Even some award-winning absinthe too, right?
Award-winning absinthe. Yeah, we've got a new brandy that's going to be coming out here soon. We just pulled 2 barrels of it. It's 4 years old, and we really liked it. So I think we're going to go and pull it and launch one of those here. So yeah, I'm always playing around with different things.
And you two guys are friends too. You and Mr. Stumpf, correct?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
You guys
Stumpy's been good to us.
call one another when things are going on and stuff like that. So it's nice to have someone to bounce things off of. Correct? You guys work
Absolutely.
closely. Yeah. So you guys should have all received a kit. If you didn't, that's okay. It should be on the way. If you haven't gotten it and you want to reach out to me, just please do so, and I can get you a tracking number or something like that. We can see where it's at. Make sure that it is in fact on the way. I tried to get it out in plenty of time to make it by the time this you had this, but again, you never know with the post office. But I hadn't heard from anybody saying they didn't get it, so I assume that they all went out delivered as planned. In that kit, we'll go over everything in there, but in there are 5 different whiskeys. You got 200 milliliter bottles. We'll have Royce tell us a little bit about the whiskeys themselves. So the first one, Royce, is 100% wheat. It comes in at 122.13 proof. What do you remember about that when you were making that one?
It's a soft red winter wheat. Obviously, it's 100%. It was distilled using enzymes. Like Akley said, I entered it at 120. It come out at 122, right, Akley?
Yeah, 122.13.
Yeah, I entered it at 120. It was just an experiment that I was playing around with. It's also it's 18-month air season barrels, 25 gallon.
Okay.
And they're from Kelvin Cooperage.
Okay, very nice. The next one that you got is a 4 grain, and the 4 grains are corn, wheat, malted barley, and oatmeal. That one came in at 108.5 proof. Royce, can you tell us about that particular whiskey?
It was entered at 105. It's roughly. Would you have the age on it, Akley? It's over 2 years, right?
I don't have the age. No,
it's a straight bourbon. It's aged in it's aged in a new 30-gallon Zach Cooperage barrel, 2-year air season. Entered at 105. It's 19% oatmeal, 9% wheat.
Gotcha. Very cool.
So when I cooked the oatmeal and the wheat are cooked at a lower temp than the corn.
Number 3 is a rye whiskey, but you've also got some corn in there. Not just any corn. You got the Bloody Red Butcher corn in there, and that one is sitting today at 105 proof.
Yes, so kind of cool. That Bloody Butcher corn come from Stumpy's farm. We actually grew it on our farm, but the starter we got come from Stumpy. So it's 35% Bloody Butcher corn. It's inside of that on that rye whiskey.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, that's some good stuff too. You and I've been hitting that barrel a little bit when I've been there. So
it is. It was entered at 105, and I believe it's in a 2-year-old air seasoned Kelvin Cooperage barrel.
Okay. The next one is also a rye whiskey, but this time you used yellow corn, and it comes in pretty close to the other one. The other one was 105 even. This one's 104.92, so just about the same proof. Tell us about the yellow corn rye.
So same concept. I like that 35% on the corn for those rye whiskeys. Is a sister grain in it. We use just regular number 2 yellow dent for that. And yeah, like you said, comes in. So it's entered at 105. And that's the traditional. If anybody, I know Murph, you were there. Rick, you were there. That's that same mash bill that you guys tried of that 4-year-old. That's going to be that bottled and bond. Ewalds, I think you guys were there as well for that we pulled for that unlimited barrel that we done.
Yeah.
Yep. It was good.
And the last but not least, this is Royce and I, if you're familiar with this, we're starting a brand called Old Kentucky Colonel. And this is part of the inventory that we purchased. So we're calling this as Old Kentucky branded. Now, we're going to do something with each of the products that we get. You're trying just the raw ingredient as it sits today, and that is some 16-year-old corn whiskey coming in at 130.27 proof. Pretty darn high proof. But again, that's not how we would bottle it and sell it ourselves. We're going to have we don't want to talk about it because it's a pretty cool finishing process we have planned for that. That's really going to add some unique flavors and things like that. But we wanted to, have some fun with this and give you guys the first ever taste of Old Kentucky Colonel. So that's part of it.
Is that 100% corn?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's 100% corn whiskey.
100% yellow corn.
Yep. So that is the 5 items. And I think, Royce, correct me and Adam, you can too. I mean, I think the starting point for any of this stuff is to taste all those, right? So, to put the group on to tasting what they've got and to kind of start in their mind formulating, how you think they might go together. Would that be the first step they want to do?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, familiarize yourself with your whiskey there. Now that doesn't mean go on a bender and finish off a bottle. You don't get any more, so that's all you get. If you run out, you run out. Also in your kit, again, to help you create that blend, there's a measuring cylinder that's 10 centiliters, and again, the idea is, that's pretty small, but that's kind of when you, based on this size project, you want to start with small blends because you want to practice on that. You can always up it, as you get closer to what you're doing, but that's a good starting point. You've got a 50 milliliter glass beaker, you've got a funnel, and then you've got a 2-ounce empty bottle. That is meant to be when you have your final product ready to go. That's what you fill that in, and then there's a box in there. It's got my address on there. You'll be shipping me the box. All of these are due by November 8th. And again, in my hands, I'll be leaving shortly thereafter to go to Kentucky. I always bake in a day. Yes. Yeah. Because the postal system is always a wreck, but don't go in thinking, okay, well, I actually have till the 9th. Don't do that. I'll almost wipe that, stick to that 8th day to make sure I've got it in time, because I'll be leaving for Kentucky and there's no like, hey, can you go back real quick? If I don't have it in my hand by the 8th and really by the 9th, I'll tell you that up front, then you just can't be in the contest. And again, it could be out of your hands. And I get that. If the post office screws up, and I deal with the post office screwing up in my business with events and things like that, our apologies. We can't be held responsible for that. It just is, I am responsible actually on my events. I have to pay for when the stuff doesn't show up. But yes, we can't be held responsible. Because I'll be going to Kentucky. Royce and I are going to be judging these, so I'll be leaving. And if I don't have it in my hand by the 9th, I'll be gone, and there's no way to get it after that. So again, keep that in mind. You have to get me your product by November 8th. Royce and I will be then judging. That's in the middle of the week. Royce and I will be judging that weekend, and we'll get back together the next week on Sunday the 14th at 6:00 p.m. Eastern time, 5:00 Central time. And I'll put this in an email to you too, so you've got it. But that's when we'll get back together and we will announce the winners. You do not need to be present for this meeting or the next one. We record these things and you don't have to be present. So if you've got a scheduling conflict, you're like, darn it, I can't make the 14th. That's okay. It'll be recorded. We'll put it out there. If you're the person who wins, you still win. It has, nothing to do with that. So, and how we do it, we have some fun too when we announce the winners. Again, our field is 17. That's assuming everyone who's in the contest turns in a blend. Last year, we had some that came because they wanted to learn how to blend and wanted some things, and they didn't even participate in the contest. So it could be as many as 17. It could be less than that. How we'll do it that day. Initially, Royce and I will cut them in half. So we'll get it down to 8, maybe more than half, depending on if we get 17 or the full amount, but we'll get it down to 8. And then the final 8, we'll chop it again to 4. And then when we get to 4, they'll be ranked. So the final 4 will be ranked 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place. First place gets the big whiskey thief from Vendome Copper, $395 value. I think is what they said, $390 or $395. You can check their website, but we will get that and send it directly to you. And then second place, tradition is to give a Stumpy's sweatshirt. So Adam stepped up and did that last year. I guess I should have asked him if he's going to do that again this year, but
Freshly stocked.
Yes, you're freshly stocked, so you'll get a Stumpy sweatshirt if you get second. And actually, Justine, who got second place last year, is rooting for second place again this year. She wants the sweatshirt. Yeah, like she doesn't have enough. I said, she's like, well, what can I do with the whiskey thief? I'm like, well, what can you do with your 200 sweatshirt? But she still wants it. She wants it. So that's the thing. When you collect sweatshirts, it doesn't matter how many you've got. You always want one more. So that's what's going on there. I think any other notes? A couple notes in terms of what you have to do. Again, we're making a blend, so you can't be like, wow, this whiskey, the wheat whiskey is really great. I'm just going to submit 2 ounces of that. I'm done. No, you do have to do a blend, and the blend has to include at least 3 of the 5 whiskeys. You've got 5 whiskeys. A blend must include 3. And you do have to put what your blend is. Again, you can either do it in centiliters, some do it like that. This has this many, or you can do it by percent. We don't care. We just want to know what is actually in your blend. So you have to use at least 3. And then the other thing you can use is water. Now, if you use water, matter of fact, first and second place had both used water last year. So maybe that's a good idea. And I think it's a good idea to test your whiskey with some water to see the impact of it. But also be careful with your water. You don't want to just open up the tap and put chlorinated water from your local. You probably want to go to the liquor store, get, they sell the limestone water. They got that brand of old limestone that they sell. That's probably good. or, some sort of purified water, right? Royce and Adam, you don't want to just use tap water.
No,
Definitely.
not.
Right. Particularly if you live in Illinois, right, Adam?
Absolutely.
I mean, if you're in
unless
Missouri,
like
you
the
could probably get
Mississippi.
away with it. But we do have a couple of Illinois folks here that, you don't want to do that.
Don't do it.
So that's really about it, though. In terms of, you just have to use 3. You do have to put it on the label. So don't forget, when you send it in, put your name on your label, put what your breakdown is, and then mail it in to me. Again, you should have addressed a box in there, or if I see somebody like the legend here, I'll probably get his from him. That's okay too. So that would be it. Any questions about the contest itself? Like I said, I will summarize all of this and put it in an email. I'll just send out through Eventbrite, so we'll make sure everybody gets it. That seems to be the best way to work that. Okay, now we want to talk a little blending tips. Adam and Royce, what do you think are some things that they need to be doing to make sure that they're getting the best blend possible?
Well, like you said, Steve, I would definitely taste them all and get a baseline. That's incredibly important. You got to remember, when a whiskey has a finish, that finish normally carries over into a blend as well when you're doing a very small type of blend like you guys are doing for this one. And be careful with the water that you add, because you're doing small amounts. So it's really easy to add. My whiskey's not setting at 120. It's setting most of it at around 105-ish, which means if you add a good jolt of water to it, you can get it down into the 90s really, really quick, or even into the 80s.
Yeah. Adam, what about you? What are some things that stand out for you to create that good blend?
One thing that we've found recently is, whenever you go through and taste your different whiskeys, kind of make note on there too, which ones you think are, a little bit bolder and spicier than others, like some of those big characteristics that tend to stick around. Like just the rye whiskey, for example. I mean, you might expect that to be a big one. The reason I say that is because whenever you go back to create your blend, we found that we tend to like starting with the things that are a little more mild and working our way up to the bolder items, because you can really, really overdo the big spicy stuff. And when that happens, it's difficult to come back from it a lot of times and kind of balance that whiskey back out. So that's the biggest thing I would say that we've realized recently after you get your baseline established.
One thing, when I was shooting the movie Blending is Trending, and again, I'm not here as an expert on blending or anything like that, but I did get to hang out with Freddie Noah and watch him do a blend. And one of the things he said when doing the movie is like, this isn't one thing that's different than my normal process. I'll show you everything that I do, but one thing that is different is normally I'll do a blend and I'll let it sit for 24 hours, and that's when I taste it. Is that something that you guys feel is the right way to do? Because again, no matter what they do, even if they blend it and taste it, by the time they get it to us, it's going to have more than 24 hours of sitting around. Do you think that's a valuable tool to use to wait a little bit too, to check it before you start, reworking and doing some more experiments?
Yeah, it definitely changes. If you start early enough, that's certainly a viable option. For me, generally, temptation gets the best of me, and I sit there and taste the entire sample until it's gone, as soon as we blend it.
Right.
I would say it definitely changes. I mean, if you're talking about putting a product on a shelf, that's definitely best practice. I wouldn't say that it changes by 50%. I would say it's, a little more minute than that.
Yeah. Okay. And, the introduction of water, again, these aren't people that are going to have hydrometers and things like that. You're talking very little amounts, right, Royce? You're talking, add it by, get an eyedropper and add it by the drops, correct?
Yeah, that's generally how, we'll tend to do it. You'll be surprised whenever you get into making some of those adjustments that you can really change a whiskey with very, very small amounts of ingredient.
Yeah, I would definitely go with drops of it at a time. I actually was playing around with that 100% wheat whiskey the other day, and I did not add. I think we had a 2-ounce sample of it, and I did not add very much water to it, and accidentally dropped it down to like 88.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. We eventually, for the November 14th meeting, when we announce our top four, we'll probably pull out the hydrometer and do the proof for the top four. But after the fact, we don't want in any way to do that before that, because it can impact you. We don't want to be like, well, as a judge, I tend to like higher proof, and all of a sudden my mind starts gravitating. We don't want to know any of that stuff when we're taking. Where the winner is going to be based solely on taste, right, Royce?
That's right.
Yeah, all done blind.
Steve, kind of same as last time, just like basically rank order. That's the winner kind of situation.
Yes. So yeah, for those that are on our tasting notes in the regular, particularly when we do the blind tastings, we use a scoring system. That's the same scoring system we always use for barrel picks at Total Wine and stuff like that. So we just use that. And that's how we come up with our order. And again, the first thing will be to eliminate all but 8. Again, we don't know how many will be submitted, but all but 8 will be eliminated. And those aren't put in any sort of order. So we when we get together for the second meeting, when we announce the winners, we'll announce the list that didn't make the final 8 just together. Again, they're not in any rank. It doesn't matter who, if you're listed first or last in that group, you weren't that close to making it. If you're the last one we announce, those are all the same. And then when we get to 8, we'll knock it down in half to 4. Again, we won't rank those, but you'll know you at least made it to the first cut. And then we'll announce the final 4 from 4 down to 1 is the plan. So creating a lot of tension for those that are left. And then you get close. Justine, what's it like as we're going through this? Because you went through this process last year. What's it like sticking around, and then finally your number doesn't get called, but it's still pretty cool to end up in second place, right?
Yeah, it's a little nerve-wracking, but yeah.
Oh yeah, we wanted it to be tense, so we wanted nerve-wracking, but
Yeah.
And the legend, I think, was in third place last year.
Third, yeah.
Yeah. So we will have a new winner this year. The guy who won last year did not repeat. He's not back in the class, so we'll have a new winner. So that'll be fun.
I do have one question, Steve.
Sure.
Do we not put our name on the label then?
Yes,
Or if these
you
are-
put your name on the label. We will have a professional person pouring. So it's probably going to be the warden, actually. I think I'll bring her with me. She did it.
She's
last year.
experienced.
She's experienced. She will handle that. So she can know who it is. No, she doesn't tell us anything. So she does all the pouring, puts them in glasses. We'll bring clean glasses every time. So I'm bringing all my glassware to Neeley's. We'll have clean glasses for every pour. And then we do it like that. So yeah, you definitely want your name on there so we know whose it is. We won't see that though, as judges ourselves. What other questions you guys want to know? Could be about the contest itself, like Adina's question there. It could be tips to help you out making the ultimate blend from our distillers, Royce and Mr. Stumpf here. Anything?
So the two judges, what do you like? Do you like high proof? Do you like low proof? Do you like rye?
Mhm.
Throw us a bone.
I think we just like good whiskey, right, Royce? I mean, it's all over the board. I mean, I like, yeah, I pretty much like all styles of whiskey. I just like whatever's best. So,
Because obviously you could go down a certain path here,
right. I don't want to lead you down a path because there's days when it's, I could tell you because I like George C. Stagg's my favorite bourbon of all time. But there's days when a Weeders just sounds perfect. So it's going to be, part of it's just the judge, how they are that day. So, and then last year, Adam and I ended up in a lock and we had to keep doing these presentations, why we wanted our winner to win. And we had to keep going through and we taste, because we were both tied and we had to keep debating and making the case why that one should be selected. And by chance, now we know what happened now. I was Justine and Adam was John, and we just kept tasting and debating and trying to find a hole in the blend, and they were both pretty solid. So it took us about 4 rounds of that.
I was just getting ready to say I was pretty sure Adam didn't like mine last year.
Pretty sure Adam what?
Adam didn't like mine last year.
Yeah,
That's
he
not
ruined it for
true. It was in second place.
Yeah. She almost quit buying your merchandise, but then she.
Oh my God. I
And
thought
she
it was
thought
best,
better.
Justin.
You did not. You and the other guys. You know it. Because then what I hated was I wanted it to be just a great debate, and then And then when I finally said, okay, he made this good point. I'm like, okay, that you know what, I can see this, and we can't have a tie. And I finally agreed because he did bring up something that I thought was better. And then he starts running around the distillery like he won the damn thing himself.
I was half lit, Steve.
Yeah. we did.
I mean, we drank a lot of whiskey.
True. You think about all those.
I will
Yeah,
tell
Royce,
you.
you're going to be hammed. I mean, soup
Oh.
sandwich.
You will be hammered. There's no doubt as a judge.
I'll give you guys some pointers on do not be drunk in your office with Hunter Coffee making an event with Hunter or with Donnie Benton and then try to make you blend. Do not do that.
Yeah.
Did not go well for me.
Yes,
Throwing that out.
Royce did it at the last minute. It was after an event. We did it at the distillery. I'm getting ready to leave. And I'm like, Royce, I'm going to need this before I go. I mean, we got to have yours. And he's like, Hunter, let's work on this. And then they did it. And it was handed it to me. And then he was surprised he didn't win. What? I'm like, you kind of mailed it in, man. I mean,
Put my heart and soul into that.
oh, yes, you did. Oh, yes.
Okay, last year I missed this meeting.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and I thought, okay, well, I've got the stuff. I know the rules. I don't need to watch it. So I did everything. When I ended up with third, Steve goes, yeah, and the winner and the second, Justine, they both proofed theirs down. They added water. And my response was, I could have added water to this? It's like, where'd that come from? It's like, okay.
It was shared in the rules. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was here tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's about it. Any other questions? Anything you guys want to know?
I would also appreciate any feedback on the whiskey you try individually. So if you guys like the rye, the Blade Butcher rye, or anything like that, please let me know. Any feedback would be greatly appreciated.
Absolutely.
Will do.
Absolutely. So sounds good.
Royce, can we
Yes.
contact you if we want any more information about the whiskey?
Akley?
No, Royce.
Yeah. He's asking me if he can do it. Yes, do that, but then provide the information you provide. If anybody reaches out to you with anything about the contest, let me know what you said, and no one can have a strategic advantage. So I will then send it out to the group via the email system. So everybody's got it. It's okay to ask questions, but everyone also gets the
Yeah, I'm
answer
just
to it.
thinking like if we need
Yeah.
age information or
That's okay.
mash
That's okay.
bills or something
Yeah.
that we don't have here.
Just so long as I've got it to get to the group, I think that's a fair way to do it. It's again, just everyone has to be on an even keel and have the same info. So, yep. So watch your emails. I'll probably send a couple between now because you've got some time. But again, that's probably the most important thing. Don't think, wow, November 8th is when he's got to have it in his hands. I got a long time. I would start working on it and refining it and going from there. I wouldn't wait till the last minute for sure. So, all right, with that, the meeting itself ends. As always, I'll stick around for a little bit. We want to celebrate Adam here for a second, so we'll do that. But I'll say goodbye to the group that's watching this for the contest information right now. So thanks, guys.